Coach, we've had a lake effect snow band sitting over Soldier Field since about 9 this morning, and it's not supposed to budge anytime soon. The good news, the folks don't seem to mind here in Chicago. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season, Week 17, is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
A nice burst there as he'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
And now he'll tuck it and run. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Check out.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson with a catch made by Johnson. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
So on 4th down, on comes the Dallas kicker, Brett Maher. This from 54 yards away. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, here's Newton. He'll get this complete into the hands of Riley Ridley. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen, and he'll get it down this time to the 17. 7 yards there and a first down.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. Cam fakes the give and keeps it. The completion to Riddick. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
20.
Tighten up.
Now on 2nd and 13. Newton, he's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss.
Take four.
On 3rd down, a run with Cohen. And a short gain here, down to the 22. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Weather like this, always treacherous for kickers. A good sign early, though, is he's able to put that one through.
And you remember him right before the kick stomping around his area to make sure that things were going to hold for his plant foot, and it did.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. First down, and it's Pollard again. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. On 3rd down, Jackson. And that is incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Even though they might not find the #1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they can very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
At the 38-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. Newton now to throw. He's got Burton here. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
We're going to set, buddy. Great. 8.
From the gun on third down, Newton. They'll find Miller. That's complete. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And that one results in 35 yards.
First and 10 at the 21-yard line.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for first and 10. First down, a run with Cohen. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. On second and 11 now. Newton, this one into the hands of Burton. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive. Newton on third down. The catch made by Miller. He had 3 catches last week. That one his 3rd on this drive alone.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Now from the 7, here's second and goal.
I'm going to run you over.
They'll throw this out wide and complete it to Ridley. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Riley Ridley, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Bears push further out in front. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0.
Set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 42. Pollard going to try the right side. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
It's a pickup of 6.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 2nd down now, Pollard. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. On the return is Cohen. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now they'll run it with Cohen. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
Let's go. Hey, what's the ball? Shift.
3rd and long. It's Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. A first carry now for Kofani Muhammad. Looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jackson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Check. Hey, check Mike 45. Check Mike 45.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And the pressure gets to him again. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On second down, it's Cohen. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
What's that? 180? 56! 56!
From the gun on third down, Newton. And that will be incomplete. So good coverage there defensively as it looks like they'll force a punt on this opening drive of the third.
Well, let's coach them up a little bit from right here in the booth. That's exactly what they needed to do. They need to start stringing together some stops, turning the ball over back to their offense, and trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, a couple scores down, but they can eat into that quickly with a nice drive here on the other side. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you.
Well, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked off at the 28. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They'll try to run forward with Cohen. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Chicago. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down. Inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Being chased out left. He's got it up to the 15. Showed off some fancy footwork there on the play. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. On 2nd down now, Pollard. He's got a 1st down past the 30. And the cutback to the sideline. Touchdown, Cowboys! Tony Pollard, 85 yards, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some 1st downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Cohen. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Newton, and an alley to run. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the 1st. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 40 now on 2nd down, Newton. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
I got you, son. I got you, son. Great.
Throwing on 2nd down. Newton under pressure, and he will go down. Sack back at the 38.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Right there. Let's go. Great. He's checking.
On 3rd down, Cohen. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Back now at Soldier Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, They're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
13 yards and a first down, Cowboys. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
And not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the fourth.
Second down and 4. Jackson. And going deep. Oh, this is intercepted. Intended for Hill. Rashard Robinson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for them. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who have had the receivers on lockdown.
Gun.
They'll start things on first with Torrey Cohen. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Gun.
Back to throw. Newton. Connecting with Burton here over the middle. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. On 3rd down, it's Cohen. And he will have the first down here as he's up to the 15. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. A first down carry for Barkley. Takes this one up past the 20 after he's able to make a man miss. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness. Did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think he's...
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. This is Cohen. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game.
So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. On 2nd and 7, Newton. This is Miller, complete. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are on the field?
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Newton. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. So after a rare misstep on this drive, they'll try to make amends on 2nd and 15. They run. This is Cohen. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves them with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Here we go. 58, come on. Watch twist.
Again, it's Cohen. Finding room to the 20. And finally, wrestled down at the 11. That good for 22 and a first down. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They'll run on 1st down. It's Cohen. The nice footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Able to stay in bounds, and the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake in the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Quick pass out to Miller. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Anthony Miller, his 4th touchdown on the year as the Bears push further out in front.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt-away-the-game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out there? And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Rashard Robinson with a pick. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And with the defense out of timeouts, powerless to stop the clock, this should just be a couple of kneel downs. They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing here, Newton. He finds Riddick, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Bears, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for Dallas, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And the playoffs will run through their house as they'll get the week off and get set to host a divisional round game in 2 weeks' time. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next.